Yo, welcome back everybody. So in today's video, I'm gonna finally show y'all boys the loadouts. Now I know y'all been asking for the loadout video for a while. Y'all in the comments or in my streams be like, yo boss, show us your loadouts, bro. I'm liking what I see. Show us the loadouts. Now I changed my loadouts up a little bit just for the video because I had like a mess everywhere or whatever. I try to organize it a little bit. The first two here is I have the Krig on the same primary. I just have different secondary, and I'll tell you guys why in a quick second. But number one gun, and this is 100% my opinion, the meta, the best gun to use right now. As of I'm recording this video, because there was a update earlier today where they nerfed like the Modern Warfare MP5, the AS Vow, and some other pistols and guns that didn't really need to get nerfed, to be honest. But that happened, and it kind of changed up a few of my weapons here, but not many. But number one, the Krig. You guys know the Krig. It's probably the most used gun right now just because of its low recoil, bro, and it's pretty good. I think that it is the meta right now. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think I have one gun over this one, but this is my second gun to go with if I'm not filling my first gun. Agency Ranger, which is important. Do not use the CMV mil spec barrel, just because this one actually gives you less range. The Ranger actually gives you a little bit more range. I mean, not range. What am I talking about? Less recoil. The Ranger gives you less recoil, but the mil spec gives you a little bit more recoil. So I know we're all used to having you running the last barrel here, but only for the Krig, for some reason, only on the Krig, you get less recoil with the Ranger, and it's still pretty similar range damage profiles and stuff like that. And also, you don't get a con with ADS speed. So I recommend the Ranger. If you guys always been using the mil spec, use that. Use the Ranger. That is so weird. 3x scope, 60 round mags, field agent, obvious. Low recoil gun, hits like a kilo, like a pre-nerf kilo, and yeah, it's pretty decent right now. It's pretty good. It's also pretty good for people that are not necessarily the best at the game or don't like recoil. It's really low recoil. You feel me? Now my bullfrog class that y'all been asking me, bro. It is the Grew Suppressor, Bruiser Grip, 65 round max, Tiger Team Spotlight, and no stock. Yeah, I might be surprised. I'm like, that is a little bit weird setup. Why don't I have the Task Force barrel or the KGB skeletal stock? Well, it's because I'm only using this for like close range. And if you guys know, I'm very aggro, bro. I'm always running around. I'm always sprinting, tactical sprinting, and most of the time I'm gonna be using the sprint to fire speed thing. So I put the no stock attachment is the best for sprint to fire. You get the best sprint to fire out of all of the attachments for SMG categories for Cold War. You do get sprint to fire speed with the KGB skeletal stock, but it's not as fast as the no stock attachment, because the no stock attachment specifically focuses on sprint to fire speed. Tiger Team, you guys know you move around faster. Grew Suppressor keeps you off the map. You could rock Sound Suppressor, you get a little bit better ADS speed, but you get more range and stuff like that with the Grew Suppressor. You do lose a little bit ADS speed though, so I might try out the Sound Suppressor, but you do lose quite a little bit of range with the Sound Suppressor. So you pick that. The Bruiser Grip, you get even more speed and better hip fire accuracy, so it's really good for up close. And like I said, since I'm a very aggro player, bro, always tactical sprinting around corners everywhere, this is for me, bro. It works for me, you feel me? And then 65 round mags, you might find me weird for running 65, but you get 15 extra mags, which I think the 50 is already all right. So if you don't want to run the 65 and you want to put maybe the Task Force barrel on there, fully understandable. But the reason I put 65, because like I said, you just get 15 more mags for a penalty of literally nothing. You don't get a penalty of, you get less ADS speed or anything like that. You just get more mags. Yes, it does say its reload quickness is different, but it's literally the same reload speed as the 50 round. I don't know why they put that. So that's my bullfrog class right there. I've been loving it. I've been sticking to it, and it's so good, especially on rebirth, bro. It is so good on rebirth. Now my second loadout here is pretty similar. I put the OTS 9 just because the OTS 9, I think, it's actually pretty decent now. I was using it quite a bit, but I don't think is it for quads or trios, especially not quads. You could probably get away with it. You could definitely do it solos and duos. Trios, throwing knives, But for quads, I don't think so, bro. Because you only get 40 round max, which does kind of suck. This is more like a rebirth gun. But its TTK is actually very, very good. It has a good fire rate. It has a good damage profile for its fire rate. Most guns that have a high fire rate have a lower damage profile. But this gun actually has a a better damage profile. And especially since guns like the Modern Warfare MP5 got nerfed. And some other guns got nerfed. This actually kind of moves up a little bit in the SMG ranking category. Put Group Suppressor, Task Force, you get better straight speed. Target Team move around better. KGB Skeletal Stock, of course, you get better sprint to fire speed. I should have probably put no stock, to be honest, just because of the way I play. But either one of these three right here is good. You know, everybody plays different, so you can't always just rely on what the person's attachment is. You know, because you might use that person's attachment, but you might use the attachment at its full capability, if that makes sense. Like if I smack on the sped not stock, which gives me the best strafe speed, and I don't really strafe like that, then I'm kind of like not really using the reason why I'm using the stock. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, I'll put either no stock or KGB skeletal stock, and of course 40 round max, yada yada yada. For my third class, I have my favorite AR in the game right now, the XM4. Now, I know the XM4, some of y'all do not like the XM4 just because it has a lot of recoil. But it has a lot of damage. But it does the job for me, bro. It's my favorite AR right now. I haven't looked at the spreadsheet of its TTK, but I know the XM4 is up there and one of the best TTKs. Still in Warzone. It just has a decent amount of recoil. It might bounce a bit. I got agency, task force, field agent for that recoil, 60 rounds and 3x scope. But I can control it, bro. I got really used to the sight, to the recoil pattern. And it really isn't that hard to control recoil, bro. Especially on controller, you just pull down the stick just a little bit. Like I said, if it goes to the left, you pull the stick down right, and if the recoil goes to the right, you pull down the stick left. Down left. So I mean, it really isn't that hard, to be honest. I think some people just make it look harder, seem harder, that it's harder to control recoil when it really isn't. Now the next is the Mac 10. Now I don't know how to feel about the Mac 10 anymore, to be honest, because it's the OG, but it's not as reliable as I think that it was. Because I've been using it for the past few days, and I'm not gonna lie, you do get that feeling of like, wow, this thing is really good. But then there's those gunfights where it's so inconsistent, where you should have killed them, right? When you put enough bullets into it. So I feel like this gun got very inconsistent. Even though it is the OG, it got very inconsistent. So I might not use it as much. This is the class that I was using in my streams for y'all that were asking. Agency suppressor, striker grip with target team spotlight. Let me tell you guys that you will zoom. You will be the Flash out there, bro, with this class setup. With the striker grip and the target team spotlight, it is the fastest mobile weapon in Warzone. Besides if you run like Cali sticks or anything. No, I'm talking about weapon. This is the fastest gun that you can run around with and absolutely just zoom through the map, bro. I'm talking about you moving faster than the train, bro, with this. Like, you can catch up with the train with this. So it really is pretty good. I just love the movement wise, but it's not as reliable as it used to be, you know. 53 round max and the no stock attachment. Like I said, because I'm very aggro, I am gonna use more of that sprint to fire speed, mobility thing or whatever. Like I recommend y'all boys going with the Raider or SAS Combat if you just love that strafing speed. But for me, I'll use no stock or Raider stock. Tending to stick more towards the no stock side for my SMGs now for Cold War. It's been working for me, bro. I find that it ADS way more better for me because of the way that I play. We'll talk about perks and lethals and tacticals in a few seconds. Next, I have the C58. Now, this one might be a little surprising for y'all, but I kind of feel like you guys forgot how good the C58 is. But it just has a lot of recoil. That's just the only thing about this gun. It has a lot of recoil, bro. And I think this is a fan favorite weapon for my mouse and keyboard players out there. I feel like people with the mouse and keyboard love this weapon. People with controller, not so much. People would rather use a Krig. You know. So any of these classes are interchangeable. You know, you could use the Krig with the Milano class I'm about to show y'all. But yeah, C58 class, same thing as task force, yada yada, field agent. It hits hard, bro. It hits real hard. It's the only two things I don't like about it is the recoil, which I you could get used to any recoil pattern, but this one it is a decent amount of recoil. And also the fire rate is a slow fire rate. It kind of reminds me like a Odin, a little bit faster version of the Odin. It's slow, but if you hit your shots, bro, and if you're accurate, you're gonna be the best. You're gonna be beating every single weapon out there with this gun. Well, maybe besides that EM2, because the EM2 is also actually very similar to this one. And I'll talk about the EM2 in a second. Now, next I have the Milano, which might surprise some of y'all, because the Milano supposedly got a stealth nerf right before season 5. But now it's actually good again, which is it's so weird the way that they do their like nerfs or whatever, because they do stealth like change some attachment some weapons, and they just never ever say nothing about it. And this was one of the weapons that happened. Sometimes it got changed and then it got reverted back, so it's really weird. Rocking the agency, task force, tiger team, marathon stock. This is basically the no stock attachment, but they just put it marathon or whatever. Like I said, use either raider or marathon. I use marathon because, like I said, the way that I play, I'm always tactical, spreading around everywhere. Then 55 round max. The thing about the Milano, it has no recoil at all. It should be insanely easy to use for everybody, literally anybody. So yeah, I recommend the Milano. Next I have the EM2. Now I don't have the EM2 fully leveled up yet. I have not gotten a chance. I haven't really been in the mood to play Cold War and level this thing up, but I know this thing is disgusting, bro. I know this thing is really nutty. It's a little bit slow. It's slower than the C58. It does have more recoil than the C58, but it hits harder than the C58. So you kind of exchanging fire rate, a little bit less fire rate, a little bit more recoil, just a little bit, very little bit. I feel like the EM2 is not as bouncy side to side, but it does have more vertical recoil. So I feel like vertical recoil is easier to control. So I feel like it might be easier to control this EM2. The class that I recommend, of course, will be the field agent, task force, agency suppressor, and then the 3x scope. You can run the regular scope, but I feel like you're real slow with the regular scope. Sadly, like I said, I don't have the attachments to show y'all, boys, but when you level it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like the usual attachments everybody uses for every VR in Cold War Warzone. Next I have the CX9. Now the CX9, I don't know how to feel about the CX9, to be honest. I stopped using it after a few days it came out. I used it for like that week that it came out, and I kind of just stopped using it. I started using the bullfrog, Mac 10, all that. But I see a lot of people running this gun, and it's pretty good. The only thing is, it is a modern warfare gun. It's not as fast movement as like a Cold War gun, but it does have pretty good TTK time. Like, it has insane fire rate. It has a fire rate up there with the Mac 10. It has really good TTK, great TTK. Even in those a little bit mid-range fights, if you could hit your shots. This is the class that I recommend. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is the best class for it, just because you could use like this one and then not use a suppressor, and you'll get better ADS speed, or put like the monolithic there. So it's kind of really weird. I'd rather just put the integral suppressor, just because you get the barrel and the suppressor in one attachment, so you kind of like save an attachment, which I use to put sleight of hand here to reload faster, because if you know, you have to run the 50 rounds in this gun. I never tried out the 12 hollow run, so let me know in the comments if any of you boys try that out. But I know you have to use the 50, just because you run out of ammo so fast. I mean, it shoots insanely quick, and that reload speed is really slow if you don't have sleight of hand. So I recommend sleight of hand. And then the CXFR, which is basically the no stock attachment. Move around better, get better ADS speed. Yes, you do lose recoil. If you don't want to lose recoil, you can put like attack laser or this other stock, which you do get better ADS speed, but you don't lose any recoil. And then the merc, since we are using it for close range, not long range. If we were using it for long range, we'll put commando, since it's better for long range, but close range is better with the merc. That's the CX9 right there. I don't know exactly how to feel about it, to be honest. That's why I kind of put it here in the number 5 section. It's but I know its fire rate is really good. All right, and that's what you need. You need something quick up close, you feel me? Now next, I have the Car 98 and Milano. Now you guys know my favorite sniper support weapon when I did run a sniper was the AS Vow, but they nerfed the AS Vow today. Really bad. So it's not the best TTK wise like it used to be anymore. I feel like it still might be pretty good because the AS Vow is just really good. And I don't know if the nerf like killed it. I know it did a good amount. It definitely hit it, but I don't know if it killed it though. So I'm gonna definitely have to try it out. But I know since it did get nerfed, it's not gonna be as good anymore. I recommend running the Milano for the sniper support. Now the Car 98 is still the best sniper hands down in Warzone. Mono 27.6 tac laser sniper scope and a precision cone for aim stability, or you could use like FMJ or sleight of hand or focus, whatever. But that's kind of just what I recommend. The only really sniper to use, either the Swiss or the Car. I recommend the Car more, easier to use, and it just feels better, shoots faster, ADS faster. And for the Milano, I have a little bit different. I put the Task Force Agency, which is the same thing, 55, but I put a Microflex LED because since we are going to be using this as our sniper support, we're going to be using this SMG not only for like 20-30 meter range, but for 50, 60, 80, 100 meter range, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, but the Milano is one of the best guns to use for long range. Literally a few months ago, people were building this thing as an AR, bro, with a 3x scope and all that, and it was pretty good for long range, and that's weird for SMG. So this SMG is probably by far the best SMG damage range wise. It's still the best hands down damage range wise. Now stock, I put the SAS combat stock just because with this one, since I am going to be using this as a sniper support, I am going to be strafing more. I'm not going to be rushing as much with it since it's not like a SMG. I didn't build it as a SMG. You know what that mean? You know what that mean? So I put the SAS combat stock. You do get better strafing speed, so in those mid-range fights it's gonna be pretty good. You'll become a harder target to hit when you're moving down, when you're moving side to side or moving around, etc. Yeah, that's what I recommend, boys. Now next is a little fun class here. I put a Riot shield with a Cali sticks just because, as y'all know, Warzone is hack zone, and if you end up running into a hacker in Verdansk or anything like that, and you come back and get a loadout, you can really troll them hackers with a Riot shield. Because if there's one way to stop a hacker, bro, it's with a Riot shield, bro, because they cannot aimbot through your Riot shield. So I really recommend this. We haven't killed a hacker yet with the Riot shield. We've gotten close, but we're gonna do it, y'all. And I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty fun to switch it up a notch. Run restock, amp double time, throwing knives and stuns. It's kind of fun. I know some people might be like, oh boss, a Riot shield really, but it's actually quite fun, especially with the Cali sticks. If you don't have the Cali sticks, I fully recommend getting the Cali sticks. It's the best melee in the game, hands down. It's really fun. Try it out, bro. Two hits with the Cali sticks and you're down, which is pretty nutty. And they have an incredible lunge range. So yeah, I recommend the Cali sticks here for kind of like a troll class. Kind of just switch it up a bit, to be honest. Kill a hacker, or deal with a hacker. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everybody in your squad runs this, or you guys just want to have fun in one game. Run Riot shields as a team. It's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun, and it's kind of easier to get a dub, to be honest, because you kind of just camp out last circle, play more smart and positioning and all that yada. All right. Now my last class here, I did put a Modern Warfare weapon just because I feel like ever since the Coder integration, the Modern Warfare weapons kind of just felt obsolete, if that makes sense. I put the Ram 7 here, which I think is the best Modern Warfare AR left. For Modern Warfare, you can either put also like a M4A1 in there or a Kilo, but the Kilo is not as good anymore. M4A1 is not as best on range like the Ram is. Especially when you mount up, you get no recoil with the Ram. It's pretty good. Even though it did get nerfed a few months back, it's still relatively really good. It's probably one of the best still Modern Warfare guns ARs out there. And I did put a shotgun, y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100. Shotguns up close. A shotgun is gonna do what a shotgun is gonna do. Now you could basically run any shotgun. The shotguns that I recommend using is the Gallo, the Street Sweeper, that Jack 12 is disgusting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do not recommend you using a 725 Yoke Rogue. Maybe you could use like an Origin, but it has lower max. If this was last year, then the Origin was meta last year, but not anymore. So I recommend these last three: the Gallows, Street Sweeper, and Jack. And yeah, y'all, now for these last two, I have a Ghost class here, which I put fully loaded on. I kind of talked about it in my other previous loadout videos. Just because, let's say you're getting your second loadout and you need ammo, or your team needs ammo, then you can pick it up here and you get fully stocked back. And I do the same with a pistol, because it will refill my SMG ammo, and this refills my AR ammo. And then for perks, y'all, right? For perks, here I have an extra class to kind of talk about perks and everything, because there is two brand new perks in the game, Combat Scout and Tempered. The one that I kind of recommend sort of using will be Tempered, but even then it's kind of like the thing about Tempered is, instead of having 3 armor plates, you're gonna have 2, but they hold the same amount of HP as 3 would. So you're basically saving a armor plate, right? You only have to armor plate twice. Let's say you get an engagement. I feel like this perk is really, really good for those rushers, very aggro players like me, that love to 1v2, 1v3, 1v4. But I don't really see the point of running this if you're running quads and y'all like, oh yeah, sniping and yada yada yada, y'all ain't splitting, y'all staying all together. I don't recommend it, bro. I kind of just recommend either your whole squad running Ghost again, or High Alert, because High Alert you can hear footsteps from Dead Silence, which is huge. So it really is hard to decide. Tempered, I don't really use it as much, just because it's all right, but is it better than Ghost? I don't think so, bro. I don't think anything's gonna be Ghost. Next, for Combat Scout, I don't recommend Combat Scout. That's me. I know Jayga has talked about that it's so broken, but to be honest, bro, this thing barely lasts not even a second, bro. And if you're running solos, this is useless, by the way. If you're running in solos, this is only really good for quads and trios, just because you will have extra teammates. The one thing about Combat Scout is that, let's say when you shoot them, right, they highlights them, whatever, but sometimes the person that you shot at and highlighted them, it will show up like a little highlight all over their screen, which does kind of distract them, but it doesn't happen all the time, which is weird. It might be like a bug. I don't know if they fixed it yet or not. But that's what's up with Combat Scout. Like I said, Combat Scout, I'm personally not gonna be using it, just because Amped is just, I'm so used to Amped and always switching my guns out so quickly. It's just so much more better with Amped. You could use like tune up, you know, if you're gonna be like the medic sort of team and the person in the team. But Combat Scout, bro, it's just not for me, to be honest. Y'all could try it out, but I don't recommend it as much, because it doesn't really last that long. It barely I don't even think it lasts like a second, bro. Maybe like 60% of a second, 70% of a second. Not that much. Probably like 60 milliseconds, 65 milliseconds. No. I'd rather stick with Amped. It's just so much better with Amped. And my lethals that I'm using is a throwing knife, and it's in a heartbeat for obvious reasons. Throwing knife just because I like to finish my kills right away. But I might go back to some Texas, either or is good. Or you could use C4s. C4s are good for destroying vehicles and stuff like that. Or if you want to play like one of those, you can use a Claymore or some proximity mines. Oh my god, yo, this is 23 minutes long. It's actually a very long video. Either way, y'all, hope y'all boys enjoyed this video, my loadout video, explaining this a little bit for season 5, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I know this was a long one. Let me know if you got any loadout recommendations or anything like that, or anything that you recommend me switching or trying out. But either way, y'all, I'm gonna head out though, boys. Peace.